All right, Paul, thank you for the writing. Thank you for the written description and summarizing your experience with the assignment. I appreciate that. Let's go ahead and jump to the composition. Now, you'll have to excuse me. I'm going to be doing a lot of scrolling here because I noticed that you didn't submit a PDF or a JPEG, so I can't open it and zoom out so we can take a look at the entire composition at the same time. So basically, we're kind of stuck with scrolling back and forth. So sorry if you get dizzy here, but I'm going to be doing a lot of scrolling. Okay, now let's talk about the composition. I think that you've covered all of the requirements. Okay, so the object is dominant. Yes, indeed it is. That's great. Object is shown with someone using it or interacting with it. Definitely got that. The image as a result of the object, the fixed sync. Definitely got that. And then we have two components. We've got the teeth and then the grooves. So that's great. So you've got all the requirements covered. So let's go ahead and jump right to the composition itself. Now, typographically, good job mixing sans serif with serif. That's nice. Don't forget, one of the assignment requirements is to include design in everyday life somewhere in your composition. So we're going to have to change this. This could be a subhead, okay? So theoretically, you've got what? Now here, I'm just going to use my cursor. Watch my cursor. So you've got your headline, design in everyday life. Then, okay, and we want to left align too. We don't want to center. I'll talk about that in a second too. So you have design in everyday life, right? Then subhead, solving the world's problems one twist at a time. And you can even use two lines for the subhead, right? So headline, subhead. Okay, then you've got your body copy. Now, Paul, do we need to indent this? And it's I want you to think about this and answer it in your head. It's not a rhetorical question. Do we need to indent this? You should be answering in your head and giving yourself a reason why. And the answer is no, we don't need to indent this, because an indent is indicating to the viewer that this is the start of a new paragraph. Since there's only one paragraph here, this is redundant. We don't need that indent, okay? As far as the type here goes, I think you've got some nice light typographic color, very inviting. Your leading is nice and wide. I don't think it's too wide. I think it's done very well, and I think that the tracking is done very well too. So this is set pretty well. My only problem with this typeset right here is there's a couple of things. So I'm going to recommend old style numerals right here for the 440. The other thing I'm going to recommend is watch your rags. Your rags are not set very well. Now remember from the lecture, rags is long line, short line, long line, short line. But not like long, short, long, short. Just your rags should look like this. They should just stagger like that. Right now, the first three rags are great. Actually, the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines, okay, up to the word grips. We've got some pretty good rags here. So in other words, you've got kind of long, short, short, long, short. That's not too bad at all. Here is where it gets weird, right through here. Because why? We've got this wave pattern right here. So you've got a diagonal right here, another diagonal right here, another diagonal right here, another diagonal right here. So we're getting this wave pattern that goes whoop like this and then whoop like this. You don't want wavy patterns or diagonals in your rags, okay? If you take a look at this week's lecture materials, you'll see there is a section that addresses rags. Okay. As far as the composition goes in typography, I would not write a line. I'm sorry, I would not center the headline. I would also put this in title case. So cap S, the T is lowercase, world is W, the W in world is uppercase. P is uppercase, that can be lowercase, T is uppercase, at A is both lowercase, and then time. So remember title case on that. Don't think you need the comma. I don't, and I would also left align this. Why? Because you'll activate the negative space in a more interesting way. Right now, as we learned, center alignment is not always and rarely the most interesting layout for type, and unless it's very safe, it's very regimented, it's very formal, but it's not very visually engaging because we've got symmetry on each side of the type. Okay, and as we know, symmetry around type does not engage the negative space. So I would recommend left aligning the headline and the subhead. So left align design, design in everyday life, and then subhead left align as well. Okay, pull the indent. Okay, watch your rags, old style numeral. The image itself, I think, could be better quality. It looks a little bit damaged, it's a little fuzzy. I like the fact that you're using the same tool here as indicated by the color of the grips. That's a pretty neat idea. I think that the shadow here is a little distracting. I would remove that shadow. I don't think we need the shadow there. Other than that, I think you're looking pretty good. I think it's a smart idea to create to lay out the players in a vertical format and then mimic that the vertical nature of the players by assembling the composition in a vertical page composition. That's smart. That's a good idea. You've got center here. I would left align that. Whenever you can, don't center type unless it's a wedding invitation or something like that. But I'm going to be honest with you. I haven't centered type in 20 years. There's a lot of designers that most professional designers don't center type. And again, the reason for that is it just doesn't engage negative space in an interesting way, specifically when compared to left alignment, rag, right. Okay. Let me see. Okay. Yeah. All right. Now, my only other recommendation is for consistency. You've got captions on 2 of your images. Let's go ahead and add captions to all of your images. I think the captions look good. That the type size is interesting. It falls right in a hierarchy, being headline first, body copy next, and then captions. So that's good. But I would also create a caption for this image here and this image here, just to maintain that consistency and describing 2 of the images, but 2 of them you're not describing. So let's go ahead and shoot for consistency in that regard. Okay, yeah, so good job, great start. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to let me know. I'll be glad to clarify. And yeah, looking forward to seeing your final on Sunday. If you want to run something by me between now and then, feel free. I'll be glad to provide further comments. All right, good job. Thank you.